Hi, I'm Senior Grandmaster Jimenez from KAJUKENBO Live. Today, our book, My Story, Like It or Not, we're going to do Chapter 8. Now, this is kind of a fun little chapter, not a long chapter, but it's about the ghosts we had in the studio. And I know a lot of you guys are thinking right now, oh, you're crazy, there's no such thing as ghosts, stuff like that. Let me tell you something. I thought the same thing. People should tell me stories, and I kind of go, oh, okay, that's great, it's a nice story, but is it real or is it not? Now, I was at my karate studio, which I own the building, so it wasn't that a rental type thing. But we were there for like 37, 38 years in the same location. And all that time, never once have I seen anything kind of funny like that in the studio. And if the lights are off, the studio is pitch black. You can't see your hand in front of your face, especially if you're in my personal back office and you come out. I mean, all the weight rooms there and stuff, you'll triple hoe the weights because you can't see. It's that dark. But you never had that problem, all those years. I just be in the back working, turn the lights off, walk in the dark, take it to the front door, and lock it up and go. Well, the last year that we were there, before we closed down and moved to Discovery Bay. I was sitting in my office, and it was after class, and I was sitting there talking to one of my black belts, James, and he was in my doorway, and it was in the summertime, and so the front door was open because of the, to get some fresh air and stuff, and the lights were on and everything, so it wasn't in the dark. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I see this little Mexican boy. He probably was about, 5 or 6 years old, maybe 7. And he had his, like typical from Mexico in the old days, the white pants, the white t-shirt, and I had the bowl haircut, like you put a bowl and you cut the hair and stuff. Well, like I said, James was in the doorway leading, talking to me. The little boy walked right across the doorway, stopped, looked at me, and I looked at the little boy. And I was like, and he ran into the studio. And this is like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. So I told James, I said, James, I go, get that little boy out of here. I don't want him to go in there and fall and get hurt on the weights or anything. So James kind of looked at me like I was stupid. And like, he goes, he's all, Sifu, there's no boy here. I go, don't tell me that. I just watched him run right past me. I go, now go get him. I go, I don't want him to get hurt. He's all, Sifu, I'm telling you, there is no boy there. So what I did was I got up, because of course, I figured he was just, messing with me. Looked all over, and no boy. And there was only one way out in the back, and that's all locked up. You can't get out. And I thought, oh my God. And it just gave me the chills. Like right now, it kind of gave me the chills too. And I know you're thinking, oh, he's goofy, he's crazy, but that's not the case. So, as you'll see as my story goes on. So, I sat there and it just kind of like really tripped me out. And James kept asking me, are you okay, Sifu? And I go, yeah. I go, but I seen that kid run by. It wasn't like I just a glimpse. He stopped, turned, looked right at me, and then took off running again. So anyway, long story short, we left, locked up and stuff. And a day or so, I was in during the day, and one of my privates, one of my black belts, Manuel Gonzalez, was working on the bag. And my dad used to always come in and sit there and watch him and stuff like that, because we'd spar and do whatever we needed to do, forms and stuff. But anyway, at that time, I was sitting there talking to my dad in the front of the studio, and Manuel was working out in the bag in the middle of the room. And I was telling my dad about the story about the little boy. Now, keep this in mind. I never once mentioned what he was wearing or how old he was. I just said little boy. Ran across, and I didn't see him, and the same thing I just told you. Anyway, my dad said the same thing. Oh, you're fucking nuts. You're crazy, whatever. And I'm like, no. Pretty soon, Manuel, he's all, Sifu, I got to tell you something. And I go, what was that? And he goes, well, I didn't want to tell you because I don't want all the guys to make fun of me. He goes, I saw that little boy before. Because the man used to had a key, and he would come in all hours of the night and work out and stuff. And I said, yeah? I go, so at first I thought, well, he could be saying that just to kind of like agree with what I'm saying. So I said, well, remember, I didn't tell you what the boy was wearing. So I said, what was the boy wearing? He goes, he's a little Mexican boy, about 5, 6 years old. He goes, wearing a white pair of pants and a white t-shirt and had a bowl haircut. He said he was in the doorway of the back of the, I had a door, a big workout room, and then a door, and then went to my weight room. He goes, it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. He goes, I was punching the bag, and I looked up in the mirror, and I caught him behind me. He was just standing in the doorway watching me. And he goes, I just turned around, and he was gone. And he goes, it freaked me out so bad. He goes, I left. And I did, again, it gave me the chills because, remember, I didn't tell you what the boy was wearing. So I was just like, man, that's just weird. I go, and I had to say it. I go, it had to be like a ghost or something. I go, because, I go, he's not there when we turn around. I'll go look for him. So anyway, I went home, and one of my black belts used to stay with me because he was kind of like homeless. So I just let him stay in one of the rooms upstairs in one wing of the house. So then I was like talking to him about this. And again, I didn't mention what the boy was wearing. And he said the same thing. He goes, Sifu, he goes, I didn't want to tell you either. He goes, I saw the same kid that you and Emmanuel seen. And I go, well, describe him. Because I always, up here I'm thinking, as much as saying that. And he described him to a T, and the same thing. He said he was working out in the bag, and he said he looked up, and there he was in the little archway just watching him. And we turned around, he was gone. And then he said, he goes, dude, I got the hell out of there. He goes, I locked that door, I flew out of there. He goes, because it had to be a ghost. So remember, we were there 37 years, and we never had that feeling. Anyway, I don't know, 2 weeks later, one of my black belts was there with his wife, and they lived kind of far away. So every once in a while, they'd stay in the studio, and I had a couch in the front office that folded into a bed. And so me and my wife at the time, or girlfriend, I can't forget which one it was, but we went to dinner, all four of us, after karate, and locked everything up. Nobody there. Boom. So we came back. We went in the studio. I went to my back office, did a few things, Okay, see you later. And I left. So he said that he was in the front office, and they turned the lights off. I remember it was pitch black in there. And I had a big window in my office, in the front office, so I could see into the workout area. And it was pitch black, so it just looked like you're looking at a black piece of paper. And he said that him and his wife unfolded the bed, and he went to get in the bed, and they had set the alarm at the studio because I had an alarm there. And remember, if you cross a tracking beam or whatever, you'll set the alarm off. So he said that they just got in bed, and all of a sudden they started hearing beep, 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 and what that is, that's the somebody crossed it, and it gives you so many seconds before it goes off or you turn the alarm off. So he said, oh my God. He goes, somebody's in the studio. He goes, so he jumped up, he goes, and went to the door, and he told his wife, he said, you go out the front door. He goes, and he yelled, who in the hell's back there? And all of a sudden he heard the weights go clang, boom, bang, clang, clang, like somebody fell over the weights. So he flicked on the lights, which lit up the whole studio, and not a soul in sight. And you can't get out, not a soul in sight. And he heard the weights just go cling, clang, clang, clang all over the place. And he came the next day, he told me, he says, I'm not going to stay here. And he told me, and then we talked about the boy and stuff like that. And he said, yeah, he goes, Sifu, he goes, there was nobody there. He goes, and when I yelled, get out, who in the hell's here? You can tell them they fell over the weights. So again, he didn't stay there. He said that night, he said him and his wife got in their car and drove all the way back to Patterson. They said there's no way they were going to stay there. So that was our kind of our ghost in the studio. Remember, I was there 37 years. And after that, seeing that little boy, I was there for about a year before we closed up and moved to Discovery Bay. And I'd be in my back office, and I'm not being goofy, remember this. I can literally feel the presence of somebody in my studio. I mean, to the point, you know, and I'm not afraid of really nothing. I was just like getting really afraid and nervous because I can feel that somebody was there. So I had to turn the lights off to get, you know, the back office. Everything was pitch black. And walking from my office in the back to the front door, I literally can feel somebody right beside me. And, you know, and I ain't gonna lie, I ran like it. And I didn't run, but I mean, I walked pretty fast getting to that front door. And after that, I wouldn't do work in my back office. I'd stay in the front office after class if everybody left. And the lights would be up and my office light would be on. And literally, I mean, it's just like I can feel somebody just staring at us or me, you know. And that was the last year we were there. It was that bad to the point, you know, when everybody left that night, I left with them. I didn't stay there alone. And Manuel and Tim didn't work out at night either because of the ghost. And I know it's a silly story, but it's a true story. You know, and I thought I'd kind of share that. I wasn't going to share it because then everybody's like making fun and stuff, you know, with all the little trolls out there. But I figured I'd share the story because it's a true story. I seen it, and 3 of my black belts witnessed it. So, and again, I didn't just tell them what the boy was wearing. They described it to me. So they saw the same little boy that I saw. So to this day, I don't know where that little boy came from. I have no idea. And it's not that somebody passed away in there because my grandfather built the building, you know, so it wasn't like, you know, somebody died in there and all that kind of stuff. So, I don't know, just kind of a fun little story, and I thought you might enjoy it. So, again, look forward to chapter 9. And I hope you enjoy these chapters. I haven't done it for a while because I've been sick with the COVID. But now I'm getting back on my feet. And we'll see you next time. For KAJUKENBO Live, I'm Senior Grandmaster Jimenez. This is my story, like it or not. Thank you.